Welcome, welcome. Hello, hello, darlings. Hi, it's me, your pal, Jackson Sturkey, all the way up from the East Village, I know. If I go any higher uptown, I'll get altitude sickness. Darlings, here with me today, I have the hiTechMODA brand ambassadors. Hello, darling.
Hi, I'm Denise Pereau. I'm your host today on behalf of hiTechMODA, one of the industry's premier runway production companies and arbiters of sustainable fashion design runway events. And today, we're bringing to you an interview from one of our favorite people. He is one of the last of the good time Charlies. His name is Jackson Sturkey. He's a singer, songwriter, cabaret performer, and one of the hosts for hiTechMODA's runway shows. So I'd like to welcome, with honor, Jackson.
Hi, how are you doing? I'm here deep in Brooklyn. You'll see I've got my roommates with me. I've got Catnap.
Welcome as well.
And then I've got Vex Wild there in the background. We're going to be doing some numbers for you later, so they're hanging out with me. I'm really lucky to be quarantined with such good-looking people, you know? Who knew? Who knew the quarantine would have such a
You're lucky to be quarantined with people that can put up with you.
That's the other. Oh, man. You are true and honest.
That's a joke to the viewers. I didn't mean that. We love Jackson. So, Jackson, how did you get connected to hiTechMODA? When did you start working with Kat Schuler and Pam Privet and Brenda Jameson?
Well, I met Katherine Schuler right before I moved to the city. I had gone to an event called the Arts Expo, which is for singers, actors, dancers, and models. It's run by Kim Myers, and it's a wonderful event for people who are like starting in the industry to meet industry people.
The entertainment industry, you mean?
Or I'm sorry?
Basically the entertainment, modeling industry, all those different verticals.
Exactly. And it was really, I went there, and Katherine had come looking for plus-size female models. And, you know, I walked through the door like an answer to prayer. But, you know, when you meet somebody and you just, like, you keep your appointment with them, you, like, meet them right when you're supposed to meet them. And it was
the universe comes into play.
Yeah, it was exactly that I met Katherine, and it was just the exact right time to meet her. And so then when I moved to the city subsequently, she invited me to a fashion show, and I showed up early. I'm kind of a theater head, and so, you know, it's like if you're early, you're on time. You're on time, you're late, and if you're late, you're fired. So I was early, and then she invited me to another fashion show, and I showed up early and brought some friends. Then she invited me to another fashion show, and I showed up early, I brought some friends, and I was like, hey, is there anything I can do? Like, help move a chair. And then by the fourth time, she asked me to come and help sort of start working on stuff with the show. And, you know, that was my first sort of introduction to fashion, and also really became a masterclass in networking and meeting people in the city, because it really is island living. And so I was able to connect with people that were not only in the fashion industry and but people who are in the music scene, people who are in the performance art scene, people who were designers, models, creatives. And it was just the thing that made it so sort of wonderful was being able to connect with all of these people who were pursuing their passion.
So hold that thought right there. One of the most amazing things about being involved in the fashion industry and being at a fashion show, and I don't think, most of our viewers are aficionados, but if you've never been to a fashion show, it is unbelievable how many people from so many different walks of life congregate at these events, and they're exchanging information. They're doing all kinds of great things. Like at hiTechMODA, they had a whole vendor area at the National Geographic Odyssey where there was people in supporting sustainable fashion, food, makeup, the supply chain initiative, right? Tell us a little bit about that, because you were there helping to run. You were helping Kat and Pam keep everything organized at the last 2 seasons that I was there.
Well, and it's that behind the scenes is what is just so interesting to me, because you're really, like, taking a space and starting from nothing. And then to be able to take that and to be able to bring in 40 plus designers, to be able to bring in 150 plus makeup artists, to be able to bring in people who are there about sustainability, about wellness, about...
Talk about a networking opportunity.
It's awesome. Well, even the piece that I'm wearing right now is by one of the designers from hiTechMODA, DK Designs.
Oh, that's Derek Grant.
Yes, I love his work, and this piece is actually made from plastic that was recycled from the ocean.
He's a genius.
He is.
And that's one of the great things about hiTechMODA is they're giving a lot of designers entree into the fashion world with their designs using recyclable materials. It's an incredible event and a company to be working with. So what's it like for you to be on stage and getting ready to host a fashion show? How do you feel and how do you prepare for that?
Well, you know, I love it, and I think part of it is like any time that you're going on stage, you've got those nerves with it. But the thing about sort of doing hosting gigs that is sort of amazing and incredible is you are always sort of flying by the seat of your pants in a way of like trying to figure it out as you go. But for doing fashion in particular, and hosting fashion events, because I've hosted all sorts of events, music, variety, burlesque, cabaret, you know, I'll show up to the opening of a letter, you know, if you invite me. And
that's hilarious.
Being there for fashion, though, you are the frame for this display of this amazing art.
That's a good analogy.
Well, and I love any medium in which people are sharing ideas. And I think that's sort of what art is it's sort of this window to be let in to be let into people's viewpoints on the world. I think it was Diane Vreeland.
Yeah, she's amazing.
Said every dress is a political statement.
Yeah, and today, and hiTechMODA is really, like we said earlier, the arbiter of sustainable fashion. It's not just about the clothes today. It's about what you can do to help change the world and be social change and do what you can to help others. So when you're on the runway and you're getting ready to speak to the audience, what's the favorite message? What is one of your favorite mantras for that?
I think that style is being yourself on purpose. And I think that when we're up there, being able to present artists who are not only themselves on purpose, but are trying to make the world a better place, are trying to use their art to make the world a better place. And that hiTechMODA is providing a platform for artists to really make the world a better place. That is
quite impressive to see it all come together too.
Yeah, it's an honor to be part of that. It's an honor to be part of so many people's passions and to be able to facilitate that. Going on that stage and being able to host a show like this is first and foremost an honor. I'm honored to do it.
And one of the things that is so captivating too is that at the hiTechMODA shows, it's all about real people. And you don't see that cookie cutter model. You do see a lot of beautiful, standard model industry people modeling, but it's also about inclusivity. So they had a young lady with Down syndrome in the February show.
Yes,
and it was so incredible. And people in wheelchairs modeling, and people with amputees. So it's great.
And the thing is, everybody wears clothes. And so when we have this presentation on a runway, which is just one type of model, one type of person, you've cut yourself off from everybody else. And so I think that
doesn't make sense.
Business. It's good business. It's smart business to bring more people to the table, because I don't know anybody who doesn't like getting a little dressed up every now and then. Who doesn't, you have that thing that you put it on and it makes you feel a little special. And to be able to sort of be able to make that statement of who you are when there's that availability to everybody, it's the way the fashion industry has to go, because it's just going to be better business when we don't exclude, but we include.
Yeah, and everybody wants to feel good. You're absolutely 100% right. So you not only are a host for hiTechMODA's runway shows, you are, like we said earlier, cabaret singer, performer, entertainer, lyricist. How long have you been composing your own music?
I have been composing music for about 6 years now, but I have always loved theater, always loved musical theater. But it wasn't until about 6 years ago I was seeing this person who I liked a lot, but I was kind of like scared to say what I was feeling to them. And so I taught myself to play ukulele, which is easy. I think everyone should learn to play ukulele. It takes about an hour to learn how to play ukulele.
Oh, stop.
Oh, no, it's true. I'll teach you sometime.
You have to teach me that.
We're gonna zoom in.
People.
But yeah, I started off writing songs. First learning songs for this person to sort of express what I felt for them, but was kind of like too scared to just say. And then that became me writing songs. Now that relationship, didn't work out, but I still knew how to play ukulele and knew how to write songs. And something that did for me as an artist, as a creative person, is it really freed me up to start going out and sharing my music, sharing my songs anywhere and everywhere. I would go to open mics at bars. I would go to open mics there was one that I went to called the Electric Pressure Cooker in the basement of a flower shop.
That brings me to a question. Where can we see you if we want to see you?
Well, right now, my couch. I'm actually.
Sorry,
I'm in
projecting
Wild's room right now. Vex Wild was kind enough to set up shop for us for today. But primarily, you're going to find my work through Frigid NYC, which Frigid NYC is an independent theater company, which they do the Frigid Festival every year. Now, the money from the Frigid Festival, from ticket sales, goes directly to the artists who put on the shows. And so they were the first place. It's so important. It was the first place to really give me my opportunity. It was through the open mic they do every Tuesday that I sort of got into the theater company. And then from there, I ended up hosting and doing my own cabaret for a year. But the other places that are my regular haunts are going to be Pangea, which Pangea is it's a cabaret space that's been around since the 80s. It's pretty old school New York. They got 2 grand pianos and the best cocktails you can get below 14th Street. And so I've been doing shows there. I was actually going to do a big birthday cabaret, but because of the pandemic, we ended up having to put it off. So I guess I get to be 21 for another year.
That's pretty funny, Jackson.
Well, the other place too that I am at regularly right now is I am at the Nest in Brooklyn. I host Cuckoo's open mic at the Nest. So I like to say you can come in here and see if you can fly over this nest.
Is that for comedians?
Singers, burlesque, performance arts. We've had a lot of amazing spoken word poetry. It's a place, I feel the only place that you can really know if the work that you're doing works is on stage in front of an audience.
I think you're right.
And so this is an open mic. I want to facilitate a space where people can come and share their work in front of an audience. And so, yeah, Frigid New York. And if you want to support local artists, I would say Google Frigid NYC. They are up and running and still streaming shows.
Well, thank you for sharing that.
Oh yeah, they are dear to me, and we're really the first place that facilitated me being able to create. But again, also Pangea and also the Nest in Brooklyn. You can catch me at any of those venues regularly.
Well, I think it's time for you to do a little bit of a performance for us.
Yes.
You're really
position. We're going to adjust the mic and stuff.
And we're just dying to hear what you've got for us.
All right. I love it.
And so give it a tune, too.
Thank you, Denise. And thank you, hiTechMODA. So this is going to be some songs we've been working on here in quarantine. And make sure we've all assumed the position. This first song is called She Boom. 1, 2, 3, 4. Man, she loved reading the news. She loved reading the news. She thought knowledge would save the people. Till she started singing the blues. Yeah, she's singing the blues. Being sad is a lesser evil. She would always hold it down. shaboom, boom, boom, shaboom, boom, shaboom, boom, shaboom, boom, shaboom, boom, boom, shaboom, boom, shaboom, boom, shaboom. Man, she was in love with everything. She was in love with everything. She thought love would save the people. Didn't realize she'd miss your hugs. Yeah, man, she missed your hugs. Get her as high as evil, good and evil. She would always hold it down. You would lay it down. She boom, she boom, 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 she boom, boom, she boom, boom, she boom, boom, she boom, 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 she boom, boom, she boom, boom, she. And she loved going to bars, yeah, she loved going to bars. Going to bars was her only freedom. Now she drinks all alone while missing a friend. She didn't know how bad she needs her. She would always hold it down. Till one day in time, she boom, she boom, 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 she boom, boom, she boom, boom, she boom, she boom, 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 she boom, boom, she boom, boom, she. I'm she shiva, boom, boom, she shiva, boom, she shiva, boom, she. I'm she shiva, boom, boom, she shiva, boom, she shiva, boom, she, boom.
I felt like singing along. I'm sitting here like just
Feel it.
to the music. It's such an uplifting song. It's so fun.
Well, you know, we were actually talking about, I write musicals as well, and so actually, before this all happened, we started working on a show called The Apocalypse Show. And that was a song.
Prior to the pandemic, you were working on that?
Before the pandemic, we were working on that. So I feel like after the pandemic, it's time to get it up. You know?
It's time to get it up. Always time to get it up.
Well, this next one, this next number is, oh, and with me, again, I've got Catnip Catnap on the ukulele. And here's
Catnip Catnap.
Catnip?
Catnip Catnap.
And they're actually working on an album. What's the name of your first album going to be?
Feline Density Crisis.
Feline Density Crisis.
Feline density.
Yeah, feline density. Well, we'll figure it out.
I'm a cat person, so I get it.
Oh, you get along with this one then.
Love cats.
Well, and then on this I got Vex Wild, who again has been an amazing collaborator with me. But something that I don't know what your coping mechanism has been in this time, but
my coping mechanism is food.
Oh man, anything particularly tasty been standing out for you?
I'm addicted to the British baking show, and I've been baking like a maniac.
Oh, it's so good. It's so well, for me, something that I've been using as like a coping mechanism is I've been rewatching a lot of Star Wars.
Have the complete collection.
It's so good. Have you seen The Mandalorian?
Yes.
It's so good. Well, so in doing that, I have this song that I have written that is a Star Wars love song.
Okay, that's great. We have time for one more, so I'm glad to.
It's about a stormtrooper who falls in love with another stormtrooper, and it is called Find the Droids. We were made to fight far-off emperors, intergalactic war. I may be one of many clones. No clone heart loves you more. I hate sand, it's rough, coarse, and irritating, and it gets everywhere. It's hot as Jabba the Hutt's taint on this desert planet, but you're here, so I don't care. If we could just take off our helmets, then maybe you could see we share more than uniforms and DNA. You belong with me. I hope you realize stars are looking at and your head on the bottom of spaceship's doors. You fall in love is deepest on policies, cause the seas that have no shore. And I hope you find the droids you're looking for. I hope you find the droids you're looking for. You said Order 66 was a cruel and hateful blow. The only thing that's worse is loving you and knowing you'll never know. I think love only has a dark side. The light side only lets you down. I get choked up when I think of it, though Lord Vader's not around. If we could just take off our helmets, then maybe you could see we share more than uniforms and DNA. You belong with me. I hope you realize stars are for looking at and not fighting wars. You still laugh when you knock your head on the bottom of spaceship's doors. You fall in love is deep as my policy, that the seas that have no shore. And I hope you find the droids you're looking for. I hope you find the droids you're looking for. You realize stars are for looking at and not fighting for. You still laugh when you knock your head on the bottom of spaceship's doors. You fall in love as deep as my policy, cause the seas that have no shore. And I hope you find the droids you're looking for. So I'll never be the droid you're looking for.
It's all about the helmet reveal. Unless you're a Star Wars fan, you don't get that.
Oh, man. I love
dying to see what they look like underneath their helmets.
What are they like? What are they like under there?
Everybody says that.
How does he know that that's his type? How does he know that that's what he wants? He's like, look at the way he looks like everyone else who's wearing this uniform. It's an emotional thing. It's sometimes you're
I get it. I totally get it. Thank you so much. I really appreciate it. And thank you guys too. You a great backup there. And wow, now I understand why you're so happy to be quarantined with these two people.
Look at them. Look at them. Not only incredibly good looking, incredibly talented.
Partners in crime.
And they put up with me.
Okay, so that was great. Jackson, we'd really love you to share your contact information with us once again, just so whoever wants to get in touch with you has the opportunity to do so.
Absolutely. Well, I would say you can find me on Facebook at Jackson Sturkey, or the one and only Jackson Sturkey. Jackson is spelled the traditional way, and then Sturkey is spelled like turkey if you add an S to the beginning. If you'd like to also, I am on Instagram as Out Late Tonight. And if you enjoyed what you saw and want to support, I'm treating this a little bit too like I'm putting out the hat. If we were able to be in the park together, I was planning on putting out the hat. If you want to, you can also find me on Venmo at Out Late Tonight. Under the circumstances of quarantine, I've been a little bit more up late tonight, but I think it still stands.
Well, thank you so much for that. And there you have it. I want to thank all of our viewers for joining us today to meet Jackson. Jackson, I understand that you have 3 photos you'd like to share with our viewers. Tell us about them.
Yes, well, this first photo is from the time that I was working with Frigid NYC. It was one of the first cabarets that I was ever doing, and they were kind enough to give me a space. And working it out with them, a big issue for artists is be able to have that accessibility to spaces in New York. So this first one is Frigid NYC and the show I did with them. The second photo is from a piece that was done by a dear friend of mine, a designer, Carmen Brewery. You can see that this cape, it took her about 8 months to make it. And she would take little pieces of fabric off of the floor of her workshop and sew them onto the cape. I have a song that I do called Color the Rain, which is about the pride flag and what the colors mean. And when I was going around performing many different places, I would always be sure to wear this cape because it just reminded me of all the colors and all the work that goes into creating different works of art. And then this last photo was for my ad for the showcase that I'm going to start doing at Pangea. Pangea is a cabaret space that's been around since the 1980s, and you see everyone there. Joey Arias, Penny Arcade, any of the artists that are very famous amongst the people who know them. And so I just want to remind people that once we're able to get together again, that you'll be able to find me right over here at Pangea. And I've got so many things to tell you.
Well, thank you for sharing that. And again, thank you for joining us on hiTechMODA, and we'll see you next time too. Can't wait for the next show.
Thank you, Denise.
My pleasure.
Thank you, hiTechMODA.
Wow, darlings, that concludes our hiTechMODA Mini Moda. Come on, let's hear it for them. Yes. That may have been Mini Moda, but I think we can all agree those fashions were a big deal. Let's hear it one more time for all of the talent that you saw up here on the stage, for all of the wonderful designs. Darlings, I hope you check out all of our sponsors. We want to say a big thank you to hiTechMODA and our ambassadors, Sydney and Taylor. If you have any questions about hiTechMODA, they know. I'm just here because I'm good looking, you know? And so I want to encourage you to check out our vendors on your way out to enjoy the rest of the shows today. If you have any questions, again, you can see the brand ambassadors. Thank you again, of course, to Nat Geo for hosting us for National Geographic. And once again, thank you to hiTechMODA for having me. I'm your pal, Jackson Sturkey. I'll see you down in the East Village.